an effort to protect the wildlife corridors that exist today between the Yellowstone ecosystem and the far north there and the Yukon. And it was an incredible journey. And the last couple of summers, if you can imagine, the farther north you go, the fewer and fewer trails there are. And so the last couple of summers were mostly just following the compass through these beautiful, untouched, pristine mountains. And it was incredible. I came up with this song. It's called It's So Miserable Here Without You, It's Just Like Having You Here. No, it's not called that. It's called, what is it really called? It's called Heart of This Wild Land. And this is an echo song. You get to be the echo. So I will sing a lyric and you echo it back to me. I will sing, I am bound. You answer back, I am bound. Over the hills, unto the heart of this wild land. If you can join with me on that line, of this wild land, that'd be great. And then I'll sing over the mountains, singing rivers, and we finish off together with of this wild land. So, let's try this. We're going to start off with the echoes. Doesn't matter what you sound like. Never had an audience sound bad yet. There could be exceptions, but don't worry about it. It's dark out there. Nobody will know it's you singing. Okay, here we go. I am bound over the hills unto the heart of this wild land. That's the line we do together. Over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land. There are places that I know where us humans seldom go. They are power for our spirits, and they feed our very souls. They have no rhyme or reason. They'll tear down your mighty plans. They just are what they are. Oh, the heart of this wild land. Here we go. I am bound over the hills unto the heart of this wild land. Over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land. As long as mountains rise and fall, there are those who heed a call to seek the hidden places beyond these valleys' jaded walls. Some will walk the wide, vast spaces, others wonder where they stand. Some just dream of the thought, the strong heart of this wild land. I am bound over the hills unto the heart of this wild land. Over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land. Oh, the rivers of this life keep flowing through me. I'm a piece of every place I've ever been. And I know I've touched the heart of this wild country. As I tramp the snowbound passes in the wind, I am bound over the hills unto the heart of this wild land. Over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land. Let me hear you now. I am bound over over the hills unto the heart of this wild land, over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land. One more time. I am bound over the hills unto the heart of this wild land, over the mountains, singing rivers, unto the heart of this wild land, unto the heart of this wild land, unto the heart of this wild land. You can join on this next song. It's simply "Oh, the River Calls" and "Oh, the Mighty River Calls." This is from a 22-day canoe trip down the Sheen-Drek River in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Born of the mountain and the Arctic wind. And your first part goes, oh, the river calls, northern lights and the glacier's kin. And your other part goes, oh, how the mighty river calls. The river's a treasure that you cannot buy. Let me hear you. Oh, the river calls. She's a glint in an eagle's eye. Oh, how the mighty river calls. The river's a promise of things to come, a ribbon of hope shining in the sun. The river is life for the great and small. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. The river's a spirit, flowing sweet and strong. Oh, the river calls. She's the way beckons me to come. Oh, how the mighty river calls. The river's a lifeline, flowing clean and true. Let me hear you. Oh, the river calls to the heart of the land of the caribou. Oh, how the mighty river calls. The river's a promise of things to come, a ribbon of hope shining in the sun. The river is a life for the great and small. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. The river's a journey borne by some. Oh, the river calls. She's away, beckons me to come. Oh, how the mighty river calls. The river's a promise of things to come, a ribbon of hope shining in the sun. The river is a life for the great and small. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. The river's a promise of things to come. A ribbon of hope shining in the sun. The river is alive for the great and small. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. Oh, it's a call of the wild that the mighty river calls. You notice those pictures of the caribou, of course. And on the Yellowstone to Yukon trip, I first discovered how curious caribou can be. A lot of times I'd spook a whole herd and they'd go taking off, but if I stood still, they'd come back to see what I was. A lot of times they'd come back closer than they were when I first scared them. And so on this Shinjik River trip, one day we were heading for this peak, 10 or 12 miles from the river, and my friend Dale and I, we were up on this big plateau, and way in the distance, we spotted this caribou out there, way out there, and we decided we'd try our caribou imitations. And it worked. He saw us, and he started trotting across the tundra towards us, and we were excited because we were getting a better view by the minute. And as he came, he started picking up speed, and soon it was just full gallop, muscles rippling and hooves digging into the turf as he raced across this vast open space. Oh, it was just beautiful, just wonderful to see. But he wasn't slowing down at all. And he just kept coming, and finally Dale nudges me and, "Hey, Jim, do caribou ever attack people?" No. I was trying to sound like I knew what I was talking about. In my head, I'm thinking, I wonder if I could dodge behind Dale. But sure enough, 15, 20 feet away, he slams on his brakes, and he starts doing these little circles around and around us. And every once in a while, he'd stop and kind of tilt his head and look at us, as if to say, I wonder what those are. Another one of those special interactions with the wildlife. One of those things I'll never forget. Well, it'd be hard to lug for a really long trip. And so what I do is I plan certain places where I'll get food, and I do it a few different ways. Very often, I'll route my trip to where I can resupply in a little town. Maybe I'll hit a road, and I'll hitch into a town, get my food, hitch back to where I left off, and keep going. Sometimes I'll route it right through a town. I send my food general delivery to the post office. And to myself, and then I stop and pick it up. Or I'll put, like last summer, the hike I did in Nevada, 500 miles, it was all self-supported. Before I started, I put out food caches in the different passes and so forth that I was going through, and then I would find them when I came through. And in the far north, on the Yellowstone to Yukon, I had to have airplanes, these little bush planes that would land on the gravel bars and bring me my food every couple weeks. Sometimes I have friends meet me at a trail or come hike in and bring me some food. Sometimes I goof up, though, and I misplan or misjudge, and I've run out of food a few times. There's a few edible plants I know, and I carry a hook and a line so I can fish if I have to. And one time up in the Ontario, I ran out of food, and I'd been watching the moose, and they were always eating this green slimy stuff off the bottoms of the ponds. And so I figured, must be okay. The moose eat it. And so I remember I scooped up a big pot full of it, and I started cooking it, and added a little salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic to it, and still tasted like green slimy stuff. But I ate it, and kept me going for a while. You guys feel like singing? I want to do this song. How many of you came here tonight with your friends? And family counts too, you know. Yeah, I don't think I'd be standing here in front of you tonight if it wasn't for my friends. I really believe that. 2 years ago, I went through 3 months of hell, surgery and chemo and radiation for cancer in my throat. And boy, it's tough going through that stuff. And what got me through was the love and the care and the concern that I could feel coming at me from my friends and my family. And so I've been singing this song a lot the last couple of years. It's called Friends Along the Way. And the chorus goes, it's the good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days. I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. Comes around 107 times, so you have lots of time to learn it. Chorus goes like this. It's a good heart that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days. And I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. Try that with me. It's the good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. It's a good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days, and I owe it all. And I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. I've been the lone wanderer, rambling free. But there's more to this life that I want you to see. For around every bend, a kind thought and a friend had been there uplifting me. It's a good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days, and I owe it all. And I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. You saw me stumble and you saw me fall. You lifted me up so I could walk tall. You helped me to stand and you gave me a hand. It's to you I owe it all. Let me hear you now. It's the good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days. And I owe it all. And I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. And I think of those friends along the way as I sing this song, of course. But I also think about this experience I had back in 1976. I was just finishing up a year and a half, 5,000 plus mile walk from the Atlantic Ocean out to the Pacific Ocean. And it was all through the northern states and part of Canada, and backcountry too, until I got out to the Puget Sound area. And I for 4 or 5 days, I walked these little dirt lanes around the Sound. And this one day, as I was passing a farmhouse, I couldn't help but notice this beautiful elderly woman standing in the front yard. She was out there tending her garden, and she greeted me. And soon I found myself on one side of the fence, a young man of 21, 22 years old, and her on the other side of the fence in her early 80s. And boy, we just hit it off. We just started trading stories and swapping lies and telling adventures, and it was a lot of fun. We had this good connection, and we gabbed and talked and talked and talked. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger about the things that are really going on in your life rather than talk to somebody that's actually close to you. And so slowly her story kind of came out, and I'd wandered by just at the right time. I'd wandered by just as she was out there saying goodbye to that home that she lived in for 45 years and the garden that she had tended all those years. The place had just gotten to be too much upkeep for them, and they were moving into the big city the following week. And my heart went out to her, and I remember we talked longer, and after about an hour and a half or so, it was time for me to go. And I remember I reached across the fence, I gave her a little squeeze, and I started walking down that dusty lane. And I'd only made it about 20 feet or so when she called out to me, and I stopped, and I turned, I said, "What?" And I'll never, ever forget this. She said, "Isn't it nice to find a friend once in a while?" Help me sing this last chorus, will you? It's the good hearts that spring from the salt of the earth. They inspire and brighten my days. And I owe it all to the spirit of love and the friends along the way. And the friends along the way. And the friends along the way. I am so blessed in that I still can sing and still can get out there and walk and do my thing, and I can't really picture anything I'd rather be doing except for spending time in the backcountry and then traveling around and getting to people to think about that backcountry.
Do you think that time that you've spent there really helped you to get through the illness?
Oh, yes. Yes. In fact, going through chemo and radiation is the most terrible thing. It's just this icky feeling. And the radiation, that was 5 days a week for 7 weeks. Oh, and they would bolt me down to this table so that I couldn't move and have this kind of claustrophobic mask on. And then this noise would start out. Oh, it's just, and half the time I was feeling nauseous from the other thing. And it was terrible. But as soon as they'd bolt me down, I would start picturing these places that I'd been walking, and I'd kind of go there. And then after a couple of weeks, I started picturing this other place that I didn't know where it was, but it was like this ridge line, and it had this little open meadow on it, and I would just go to this imaginary place. And then like 6 months later, I was walking the Idaho-Montana state line after I'd gone through all the treatments and everything was looking good, and I did this 460-mile walk along the Idaho-Montana state line. And my last day, as I was coming to the Canadian border, I'm walking this ridge. There's no trail, but I came into this little meadow, and I just realized that was the place that I'd been imagining when I was going through the treatments. And oh man, I just, tears rolled down my face and chills went up my spine, and this burst of joy. I mean, it was just an incredible mix of emotions. It was just amazing. But yeah,
what an amazing story.
Found the place.
Wow. So you plan to go back there?
I will.
Yeah.
I will. There's a lot of places I want to go back to.
Can you do another song for us?
I would love to do another song for you. Let me do this one.
Walkin Jim Stoltz.
A song is like a thread woven in the string, twisted and tied to everything. A time is shown, nothing stands alone, all nature in it sings. The clouds build up and the rain falls down, feeds the rivers ocean bound. Each wayward stream flows forth a dream, an endless dancing song. It's a circle of life for a living. It's a circle every which way. There's a lesson there for the giving, so go on and give it away. It's a planet of blue with islands of green, shares this life and all it means. Each death and birth brings to this earth a whole circle coming clean. It's a circle of life for a living. It's a circle every which way. There's a lesson there for the giving, so go on and give it away. The wind takes a seed and away she blows, or where she stops and nobody knows, until she's bound to a little piece of ground and the life within her grows. It's a circle of life for a living. It's a circle every which way. There's a lesson there for the giving, so go on and give it away. It's a circle of life for a living. It's a circle every which way. There's a lesson there for the giving, so go on and give it away. Go on and give it away. Go on and give it away. The song here that kind of celebrates this planet. I find something each and every day to celebrate the beauty of this earth, and whether it's the day itself or just something, the light on the ponderosa pine as we're driving down the road today, just a little something that just makes me appreciate living on this beautiful earth. And this next song kind of sums all that up too. It's called Turn Around. You could call me a rich man for all the gold I've seen. My pack is full of sunsets. They trade in good on dreams. You can bundle up life's treasures, try to hold it in your hand, but the key to all is letting go and listening to the land. Every time I turn around, I'm amazed again to see it's a heartbeat of this planet staring back at me, staring back at me. This old earth keeps right on turning, through its joy and through its pain. But it keeps right on singing its music just the same. You can walk a dusty mile or fly across the sky. You can sing out with the thunder or climb the mountain high. Every time I turn around, I'm amazed again to see it's a heartbeat of this planet staring back at me, staring back at me. I heard it on the desert, I felt it on the sea, I saw it in the forest, reaching out, calling out, singing out to me. Every time I turn around, I'm amazed again to see it's a heartbeat of this planet staring back at me, staring back at me. Eye to eye and face to face, staring back at me. Eye to eye and face to face, staring back at me. Staring back at me. Staring back at me. It's a beautiful planet. How many of you have a special place that you like to go? A place that you just hold in your heart when you're not there. A place that you like to go to recharge your batteries or just sit. A special place. How many of us have a special place? A lot of you. A lot of you do. You guys have a special place? No? Not yet. I bet you will, though. I bet you will. I was down in Rome, Georgia. I go down there every 4 or 5 years. I was just there this last fall. And I spend the whole week doing school concerts and talking to the kids, and then at the end of the week I do a show like this for the grown-ups. And like 6 or 7 years ago I was down there, and I was leaving the 6th grade classroom. I'll never forget this. This little 6th grade girl tugs at my sleeve, pulls me aside. I'd been gabbing about my adventures and my special places. Well, she wanted to tell me about her special place. And so she starts talking about this place where she would go hiking and exploring and riding her horse when she could and climbing the trees and building forts. And as she's telling me this, the sparkle in her eyes just growing and by leaps and bounds. And I can just feel that she loves this place. And then she gets to the part of her story where she said, but then the developers came, and they cut my trees, and they filled up my fields. And as she's telling me that part of her tale, this little 6th grader, her lips started to quiver, and a tear slowly rolled down her cheek. And I didn't know what to say. Because as adults, we all know places that are no longer there. We've all lost places somewhere. We might have our special place, yes, but we also know places that have kind of fallen. What are we going to tell the children? I hope that we tell them that we walked as softly on this planet as we could, and that we used our voices to help this planet too. I want to invite Jeff and Crystal to come down. They're going to help me with this next sequence. I'm an avid reader, and I'm always writing down quotes from books and anything I'm reading, if it strikes a certain chord with me. And I call them words of wisdom. And I've got files and folders, and people are starting to send them to me now, too. But I put a few together here, and we're going to let the images run. I want you to kick back and listen to the words and think about what they mean to you, of course. What these words might mean to this home of ours, too, this planet.
The best in nature, like the best in art, is sacred. Look upon it respectfully, reverentially, or not at all. Even the wild beasts know that much. Joaquin Miller in 1888.
Nature is not a place to visit, it is home. Gary Snyder.
Those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find resources of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. Rachel Carson.
When we're on the land, in communion, in community, we remember that nothing exists in isolation. Terry Tempest Williams.
The needs of the planet are the needs of the person, and therefore the rights of the person are the rights of the planet. Theodore Roszak.
Until we extend the circle of our compassion to all living things, we will not ourselves find peace. Dr. Albert Schweitzer.
I am glad I shall never be young without wild country to be young in. Of what avail are 40 freedoms without a blank spot on the map? Aldo Leopold. If you don't care where you are, then you ain't lost. Daniel Boone.
How'd that get in there?
A civilization which destroys what little remains of the wild, the spare, the original, is cutting itself off from its origins and betraying the principle of civilization itself. Edward Abbey.
If future generations are to remember us with gratitude rather than contempt, we must leave them something more than the miracles of our technology. We must leave them a glimpse of the world as it was in the beginning, not just after we got through with it. President Lyndon B. Johnson, upon signing the Wilderness Act of 1964. Seeds after porcupine.
Freedom is when the people can speak. Democracy is when the government listens. Alistair Farrugia.
It is our task, in our time and in our generation, to hand down undiminished to those who come after us the natural wealth and beauty which is ours. John F. Kennedy. Misty Creek.
The care of rivers is not a question of rivers, but of the human heart. Tanaka Shozo.
Love this river, stay by it, learn from it. It seemed to him that whoever understood this river and its secrets would understand much more, many secrets, all secrets. Hermann Hesse in Siddhartha.
I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. I will not refuse to do the something I can do. Helen Keller.
As part of our obligation to our own being and to our descendants is to study life and our conditions, searching always for the authentic underpinnings of hope. Wendell Berry.
The gift of hope makes every person, as well as the whole family of humanity, very valuable. The vision of future rightness sends back a stamp of rightness into the present. Louis B. Smedes.
Wilderness is a place where things work like they're supposed to work. I said that. That word hope was sprinkled in amongst a few of those words of wisdom. And there is hope. There's hope as long as there are those of us who listen to the earth. You know, the wild places, as I was saying earlier this evening, offer us so much. And 2 years ago, about 4 months after I finished those treatments that I was telling you about, I found myself walking about 450 miles along the Idaho-Montana state line. It was truly a walk of thanksgiving in so many ways. And it was an incredible year for wildflowers too, especially beargrass. And one day as I was walking through shoulder-high beargrass blooms, I suddenly realized I was not walking through beauty. I was walking in beauty. I was at a place in my heart that I've often tried to get back to. And so I came up with this song. It's called I Walk in Beauty. I walk in beauty. I walk in beauty. Oh, the water I drink and the air I breathe. Each step I take, my heart awakes. I walk in beauty. I walk in beauty. I walk in wonder. I walk in wonder. Oh, the flowers of the field and the feathers of the forest, the tracks in the snow, I'd like to know. I walk in wonder. I walk in wonder. I walk in harmony. I walk in sweet harmony. From the falling of the tide to the rising of the sun, the stars in my eyes when the day is done, I walk in harmony. I walk in sweet, sweet harmony. I walk in beauty. I walk in beauty. Oh, the water I drink and the air I breathe. Each step I take, my heart awakes. I walk in beauty. I walk in beauty. I walk in grateful joy. I walk in grateful joy for the life of my blood and the wonder in my eyes, the song in my heart and the beauty on the rise. I walk in grateful joy. I walk in grateful joy. I walk in beauty. I walk in beauty. Oh, the water I drink and the air I breathe. Each step I take, my heart awakes. I walk in beauty. 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 I hope you'll join in on this last song. You know, when it comes down to it, we're all in this together. The chorus goes, one land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm a child of the land. My roots tap to this earth, no matter where I stand. I'm a rich one, I'm a poor one, I'm the orphan locked outside. I'm the family that you'll always have, walking at your side. I'm a beggar, I'm a thief, I'm one who still believes. I'm the farmer kicking dust, but still I'm planting seeds. I'm the promise, I'm the lie, I'm the glint that lights your eye. I'm the spirit and the wind, and the fire that never dies. Let me hear you now. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. I'm the old, I'm the young, I'm the song that's seldom sung. I'm the student and the teacher, I'm the mother's native tongue. I'm the sparrow's piercing note, the arms within your coat. I'm the spark within the darkness that lights a flame of hope. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. I'm the river, I'm the mountain, I'm the weathered, twisted tree. I'm the fire and the flood, I'm the heartbeat of the sea. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. I am black, I am white, I'm the dove that's taken flight. I'm the healer and the patient, I'm a soldier by all rights. I'm a prisoner, I am free, I'm bound in unity. I'm a patriot of earth, I'm dreaming harmony. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. Let me hear you singing now. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. Now this time around, sing it like you mean it. Sing it for yourselves, of course, but sing it for the children, too. Sing it for your community. Sing it for this old planet. Here we go. One land, one heart, we're all in this together. One land, one heart, one green planet forever. One green planet forever. One green planet forever. Life we could live. Oh, what a life we could live. If we could walk this land with respect for all. Oh, what a life we could live. Oh, what a life we could live. Get out there, enjoy those beautiful places, and keep it wild.